Thank you everyone for joining us for our January, I'm jumping ahead already, our December food security community call, which we are going to spend highlighting box produce vendors. But before we get to that, I just want to turn things over quickly to Jack from our advocacy team with an update on a sign-on letter to the county executive. So Jack, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Anne Marie. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy to be here. Happy to see everyone. Happy, I would say it's kind of sunny where I am now. It's at least not raining like it was this morning when I was biking for a little bit, so I'll take it. Um, just want to introduce myself first. As Anne Marie said, I work on our advocacy team here at the Food Council, and we are currently in the process. An email just went out this morning, so I'm sure many of you have gotten it. Some of you might have not yet, but happy to send it along in via email also if you didn't get that. So you can always just send me a message on here if that's the case. But the Food Council has just written a letter that is addressed to Montgomery County Executive Mark Elrich, just to inform the county's fiscal year 2026 budget process and urge the county to continue its robust investments in food assistance, food production, and overall food systems resilience. You know, we are very lucky to see the investments we do in our local food system, but that also means, or that does not mean that there's not room for more. And we always think there is room for more investment. And as the recent Capital Area Food Bank hunger report showed and other reports have shown, this is still an issue that people are facing despite the investment that we are seeing. So we are very grateful the investments we do see, but we do want to emphasize the importance of continuing to invest in our local food system, our food assistance providers, and all of those that help to feed our residents here in Montgomery County. So the Food Council has, and I'm just looking down because I'm looking for the chat because I'm going to drop it in there. The Food Council has penned a letter to the county executive, and we are looking for organizational sign-ons for this. So we did something similar, and I'm sure many of you received that email in the beginning of or earlier in the year, I think May or June, I want to say. And many of you signed on, and we were so grateful for that. So we wanted to take this approach again. I'm dropping in the chat now. Wanted to take this approach again to get this letter to the county executive. You can read the full letter in that Google form. It is linked in that Google form. And it also, the form has a brief summary of what was written as well, but the full letter is in there. We are looking for sign-ons by the close of business on December 16th, so next Monday, and we will be sending the letter to the county executive before the new year. Again, we are so thankful to live in an area where we do see these investments, but we want to make sure these investments continue and are continually supported through other programs. So this is our way of doing that right now. So we encourage anyone who is with us on that to sign on to that organizational sign-on. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me, but I will be here in the call. I might be camera off for a second because I'm about to eat some lunch real quick. But if you have any questions, feel free to just send me a message in the chat. I will be here. And I'll make sure Anne-Marie, who already has this link, but I'll make sure it gets into the follow-up information as well. So thank you all so much. And again, if you have any questions, just shoot me a message in the chat. Thanks, Anne-Marie.
Thank you, Jack. I just dropped our run of show for today, today's agenda. Just want to share a few words, and then we will, about how today is going to work, and then we will jump right into things. So we know that many of you are looking for new sources of box produce, and today's vendor showcase is really in response to that need. On this call, we're highlighting unique programs from Food Council partners and other organizations that support our shared goals of reducing food waste, increasing local procurement, and/or supporting historically underrepresented farmers. Today's call will feature presentations from 7 vendors that are all offering boxed produce on a year-round basis. The information they share here today will all be made available to you in a follow-up resource email. And later in the call, Bita is also going to walk us through a spreadsheet resource we've created so that you all can easily review this information. And that is also going to include contact and pricing information from larger distributors, as well as other smaller vendors that weren't able to join us today. In the spring, we're planning on hosting another showcase of vendors that are operating on a traditional spring to fall growing schedule, so ones that do not have product available now. Each vendor will have about 7 minutes to share their information. Please feel free to put your questions in the chat. If there is time at the end of their individual presentation, they'll answer them aloud, but if not, they will answer them in the chat. At the end of the presentations, we should have time for more questions, but I know that not all of the vendors may be able to stay for the entirety of the call. And if that's the case, we're happy to forward on any questions and connect you with the vendors, again, if they have not been able to stay until that point. So with that, let's get started on our presentations. Our first presentation is from Moon Valley Farm, and I'm going to turn it over to Emma. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm sorry, Emma and Rob. Thanks.
Hey, folks. Thanks for all coming on and joining us today. So I am Emma Jagaz, the owner and founder of Moon Valley Farm. We are a certified organic farm and food hub. We are producing on 70 acres year round. So we're on 70 acres and we have over an acre in high tunnel and greenhouse infrastructure. And we do a host of specialty and staple produce on the farm here, focusing on a lot of really great year-round produce and a lot of just delicious, unique, really fun varieties as well. And then we partner with over 50 other farmers in and around the region. We are located in Frederick County, Maryland, and partner with farms from Southern Maryland to Pennsylvania, to Western Maryland, focusing on Maryland producers when possible. But we also do have some partners in the surrounding states and Virginia as well. So we offer sales and customer service and distribution to the region here in Northern Virginia and DC, Baltimore, and all throughout Maryland. Rob, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? My name's Rob. It's a pleasure to join you guys today. So question one here is, what are your delivery and pickup days / times? So we deliver Monday through Friday, pickup or delivery. We can come straight to you. 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. is our general delivery window. There's some wiggle room in there, obviously. What are your delivery fees, if any? That's going to be product dependent. That's based on zip code, delivery specifications. If there's some really constricted requirements about the delivery location, that there's some room for flexibility in there. Do you offer same day or emergency delivery services? Generally, no, because we're a farm still. We generally require some level of lead time. 5 to 10 days is that, that sweet spot, if you will. Again, there's always room for some change in there. Do you have any order minimums or maximums that our providers should be aware of? If so, what are they? 250 is generally our minimum, but there's no current maximum. Do you offer any level of flexibility in produce choices and options? Yeah, we have a massive range. Going back to the food hub model, working with 50 current partner farms and more and constantly expanding, we have a very wide range of produce available year round. Are seasonal items available, and do you provide a calendar of offerings? Yes and yes. We do have a calendar available, and we're a seasonal CSA farm as well as the food hub. So there's always seasonal produce available. Do you have any culturally appropriate produce? Yes. And then that can also be added into our crop planning. So if there's additional requests, if there seems to be a need for something, we will plan that into our crop planning for the future. How are your prices structured per pound per case? Both. Prices can be structured by the case, by the pallet, by the pound, by mixed produce box. It's really dependent on the needs of the customer, especially in this kind of situation. Do you offer discounts for bulk bulk orders or long-term partnerships? Yes, absolutely. Generally 2% for prepay 4+ months. There's a 3% for check payments, and then there's volume discounts. We sent off a spreadsheet, so we can get into more specifics on the fees and everything associated with that at a later time. And who should they contact for any questions or issues with an order? Anne is on the call, and Anne can be contacted. We have her email, phone number as well.
Yeah, so we offer a lot of sales channels on our farm. We are a community supported agriculture farm, so you can see we have different box sizes for our subscriptions, and these are also similar box sizes that we offer to food as medicine programs and other programs that we're working with food insecure folks with. So we do offer all small, medium, and large box size that is customizable. A couple of circumstances that we're currently working with is, say, a medium box size. Our CSA is entirely customizable. So we're very used to that flexible model. In collaboration with nonprofits, we may pre-pack a box as an example and share with the nonprofit provider, and they might request either different culturally appropriate foods or different foods that they know that their constituents are requesting, and we'll make whatever consolidations substitutions that we can based on seasonal availability. We have a whole lot of produce that is focused on year-round stability. Like we always have a good supply of things like apples and sweet potatoes and carrots and potatoes. And we also have a whole lot of seasonal variations of those, as well as greens and things like that we have on a continual basis. So our boxes are all customizable. We have different frameworks that have worked for us in the past and are always willing to work with a partner to make sure that they're getting the food that they need at the right time and place to the right people.
Thank you.
That's it. You're welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you, Emma and Rob. I appreciate you keeping on time. We're a little ahead, which is great. I don't see any questions in the chat, so let's keep moving along. But again, please, folks, if you do have questions as the presentations go on, please feel free to put them there. Like I said, we should have time at the end to handle them all, and we'll follow up on anything we don't. With that, I'm going to turn things over to Tom McDougall at 4P.
Thanks, Anne Marie, and hi everybody. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces and see many new ones as well. I'm Tom McDougall. I'm the CEO over here at 4P Foods. We're your neighbors down in Virginia. I'm sitting in my warehouse right now in Warrenton, so just south of Montgomery County. We too are a food hub. I think we play mostly a supporting role in as much as we can for food as medicine and food access programs. Here in Virginia, at least, our role is to buy food from several hundred producers, and then we move it, like Emma and Rob, into multiple different channels. We do a lot of work here with farm-to-school programming, serving most of the state. We do a lot of work with the LFPA program, a Virginia Farms to Virginia Families box program, which is exactly what it sounds like, among other things. I think for us, I hope to help elevate the work that's already being done in Montgomery County. So any food access, food service provider, first stop is to buy from local farms, like in as much as possible, buy from the Emmas and Robs of the world. Where I think we might be able to fill some gaps a little bit is we're the co-founder of an organization called the Eastern Food Hub Collaborative. And our hope is to stitch together lots and lots of other like-minded actors and mission-driven community-based organizations to create a food web as an alternative to our industrial food chain. So with the Food Hub Collaborative, for example, it represents now 17 food hubs from up and down the eastern seaboard that we buy from and sell to. It's hubs as far north as Maine, as far south as Georgia. And if you look at a map, it represents all but one of the same USDA growing zones as the state of California. So just last week, for example, we got our first shipment of citrus from some small farms we partner with down in South Carolina. So it's not local, but it is regional. It's source identified, and it's the values that I think many of us subscribe to in terms of transparent, values-based, soil-first supply chains. So in addition to the sweet potatoes and carrots and stuff you might get from Emma and Rob, if your program requires, say, citrus or other things that are sort of shoulder season and or not grown here, we're happy to be a partner in that way. And then also we're in the business of boxes and medically tailored meal or medically tailored groceries, produce prescription programs, and happy to help there as well. We've got a very similar set of answers to the quick hits on questions here, which I'll run through real quick. Delivery pickups days and times, Monday through Friday. We've got usually a Saturday cleanup route, which is usually when we've made a mistake Monday through Friday. We try to fix it on Saturday. Our delivery fees totally are dependent on if it's one box going here or if it's a whole truckload going there, and we're happy to build custom programs depending on the customer needs. Same day or emergency delivery services we try to stay out of, in part because unit economics of delivery is a bear, but we will do our best to fix and help as needed. Order minimums, yeah, it's same thing. It sort of like depends on where we're going. If it's right down the road, it's $25. If it's right up the road, it's $250. If it's down the Eastern Seaboard, it's $2,500. So feel free to reach out to myself or Devin, and we'll help fill in any blanks. Lots of flexibility around choice and options. In addition to the farmers that we buy from and represent on the produce side, we also do a lot of regenerative protein. So meat, dairy, we do value-added items. We've got some awesome tortillas from a woman-owned business in Richmond. We've got cool tofu that we bring in, honey, chutney, crackers, peanuts. So that's a type of shelf-stable stuff. I've already touched on the seasonal availability, culturally appropriate produce options. Yes, our farmers love nothing more than to have committed demand, and we can turn that into demand planning and production planning to say if you need 15 cases of callaloo every week for 15 weeks from May to whatever, we would love to take that type of commitment to our farmers who are willing and able to switch from, say, kale to callaloo, if that's what the diaspora that you're serving wants and needs. Prices are, I want to say, bespoke in that, like, what we're doing for the Children's National Hospital is a little bit different than what we're doing for the Washington National. This is a little different still from a rural health clinic, but we could do boxes, we could do pallets, we could do cases, and similarly price it accordingly. And I think I hit on all of them other than who to contact for questions, which I will put in the chat in a second, either myself or Devin. We'll call that time. Back to you, Anne-Marie.
Thanks so much, Tom. Now I'm going to feel like I'm on a local broadcast. Anyway, again, any of the information that's shared in the chat, contact information, this will all go in our spreadsheet. So please do not worry if you haven't caught something. We will get it all for you in the resources. And of course, this call is being recorded as always and will be made available on our YouTube channel. Tom, thank you so much for that great presentation. And I will turn things over now to Yannette, and I know that Scott is with her, although Yannette will be handling the presentation from Catholic Charities Share Food Network.
Hello, everyone. Anne-Marie, thank you for having us. It is a pleasure to be here. So Share Food Network is a program of Catholic Charities, Archdiocese of Washington. It's been in existence for 35 years, and we are a food network. Our focus is sourcing healthy, affordable food for the community so that we are creating value-added opportunities for the community. We partner with over 100 local partners, faith-based, nonprofit, government agencies throughout the greater Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. So we go as far north as Fredericksburg, Virginia, Frederick, Virginia, in Baltimore, as far south as Fredericksburg and southern Maryland. We do have a site in North Carolina. We also have a site in Pennsylvania, and we've had a site in West Virginia. So we deliver, we have a wide catchment area. Our distributions are monthly. We serve and because everyone likes numbers, right? We distribute about 10,000 food packages monthly, which is about 100,000 pounds of food, and that's usually over a 2 weeks out of the entire month for the most part. Half of that going out in over 2 days every month. And when it comes to produce, our packages always have about 10 to 12 pounds of fresh produce. It'll always have potatoes, onions, a green like a kale or collard greens, or organic lettuce. We partner with food sources throughout, food brokers throughout the area. And, I'm so excited to see all of these produce vendors, because I would love to continue to offer a wide variety of produce offerings to our customers, and to the community. We currently partner with Montgomery County, and we provide the protein packages to all of the hubs in Montgomery County. So monthly, that's probably about 6,000 food packages each month that goes out outside of our regular distributions. Every other month, we offer a produce package, and we partner with your next vendor, Hungry Harvest, and they do a great job of providing us with a great mix of organic and some not organic produce. And we usually, from them, we provide a 10-pound box of produce every other month. We are absolutely in the business of focusing on culturally acceptable foods, and we're happy to be providing lentils. We partner with mosques, so we would eliminate pork from their packages. We do have a vendor that provides us halal meats as well. And so we are focused on making sure that we are providing service to a variety of constituents in the greater DC metropolitan area. We have about 5 locations in Montgomery County. We have 2 churches in Silver Spring. We have a Goshen United Methodist Church in Gaithersburg. We have a Knights of Columbus in College Park. I will say, if anyone who's interested in partnering with Share, we are really, really looking for a provider in the Greenbelt area. There's a great need. And actually there are many pockets within Montgomery County that we are looking to see if we can reach out to those areas. Tacoma Park, for one, we know there's a need out there. So, please keep us in mind for that. Outside of our food distributions, where the pricing for our food is extremely, extremely reasonable. It's about 50% of what anyone would pay in the grocery store. The key to our operations is that it's really built off of the work of volunteers who provide about 1,000 hours of volunteer service a month, so that we can get food out into the community. And it really allows us to just not charge the overhead. We don't upcharge. So we're consistently at about 40 to 50% off of what they would find in the grocery store. And because of great producers and sources like those that are on this call, the quality of the food is fantastic. And so we're really proud of that. You have to keep me on time because I can keep going. Okay, so and then We also provide a nutrition education services. We have a nutrition educator who will go out to schools, community centers, senior centers, and provide nutrition education similar to the food is medicine. We also love to work with elementary and middle schools to help them understand the value of healthy food, right? Because that's where we want to catch them. That's where we really want to instill the value of and the benefits of healthy food. And we also teach them a little bit of budgeting, food budgeting also, right? So they can stop going to the bodega or corner store, right? I'm from up north, so it's a bodega up north. So they can stop going to the corner store and really see the value in purchasing healthy foods. And I don't have that list of questions, so Anne-Marie, you can just send that to me and I'll be happy to respond.
That is fine, and that is perfectly timed, Jeanette. Thank you so much. And I also really appreciate you for kind of bringing together, you know, where many of you are already all working together on this call, the many different vendors. So it's just wonderful to learn that, you know, we can support many of you through many channels. And it really is just a question as, you know, what model kind of works best for the food assistance provider out there looking to access these services, but just that you can be kind of working with a number of these providers in many different ways. Thank you so much. And thanks for that great segue to Hungry Harvest with Will McCabe.
I will.
Hi, everyone. Anne-Marie, thank you. Yannette, so good to see you. Everyone else, pleasure to be here and really appreciate the time and the opportunity to speak with you all. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I put together a few slides and should cover all of those questions through the slides. And if anyone else has questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Can everyone see my screen? Awesome. So Hungry Harvest is a Prince George's County based online produce and grocery delivery service. We service any zip code in the state of Maryland, DC, and Northern Virginia. And we've been around since 2014 and have worked with a number of community-based organizations since 2016 to support food distribution efforts. Oh, there we go. So we work with a number of growers across the country to rescue food from going to waste. So we have a social mission to reduce food waste and fight food insecurity. And we bring in fruits and veggies that can't get into the grocery store because they don't meet the aesthetic standards they're looking for. So a crooked carrot, an apple that's too big or too small, or maybe it's just a farmer who's had too good of a growing season and doesn't have an outlet for their surplus crop. So the majority of what we're bringing in is local and regionally sourced. But during the winter months, we will pull in product from a little bit further away. And everything will be based on, you know, week-to-week market availability on what there might be a surplus of or what there might be a little bit of extra items that are not meeting those aesthetic standards. So we've recovered over 1 million pounds fruits and veggies over the years and have partnered with over 100 community-based organizations. We do a lot of work with community schools in Prince George's, Baltimore, and Anne Arundel counties. And we also work with a number of hospitals and healthcare clinics to support their produce prescription programs. And really, we're here for any community-based organization that is looking for support with their food distributions. So we have 2 different delivery models for bulk deliveries and either a pre-packed box or a wholesale style market delivery for partners that are looking for their clients to have a little bit more choice in what they're taking home. And we do have a number of grocery add-ons available as well to the fruits and veggies, which are the base of what we offer. And starting with the produce boxes, we have a couple of different options for those boxes, a standard variety and an easy-to-eat box. The standard variety is going to focus on familiar favorites and include some fruits and veggies that may require some light cooking. From the years of working with community organizations to tailor these boxes to what everyone's looking for, we try to, like I said, focus on familiar favorites and avoid things in the boxes like fennel or bok choy, celery root. Those are absolutely things that we do have access to, and we're always open to tailoring a box towards the needs of any in particular community. But for the baseline boxes, we kind of try to focus on those things that everybody likes. The easy-to-eat box is going to be more focused for families with children or senior citizens, things that are not going to require any cooking prep, apples, berries, grapes, things like that. And we have 3 different box sizes. We have a mini, a full, and a super. Again, with the availability of tailoring a unique box size towards the distribution that you're looking for if one of the availabilities here isn't what you're looking for. The market style deliveries, we curate what we call market bundles. So this would be 6 varieties of fruits and veggies, 2 fruits, 4 veggies, that would allow 25 families to take home 8 to 10 pounds of produce each. This would be an example of one market bundle. And again, these are more focused for distributions that allow families to come through, take what they'd like, leave what they don't. Some of our partners will actually have volunteers bag up what is sent because the market bundles are a little bit more budget friendly than the pre-packed boxes. Just because they don't require the assembly, we can pass that cost savings on to our partners. We are super flexible with deliveries. We can deliver on any day at any time. We just ask for a 1-hour delivery window. And there's no order minimums, no maximums. We do ask for 1 to 2 weeks of lead time to turn around orders. And we have a dispatch team that is always available for same day questions about an order status. And I'm also always available as well. On our boxes, we have a QR code. And if you pull out your phone and follow that QR code, it takes you to an online resource that we have that has storage tips and tricks and recipes for all of the different fruits and veggies that you may see in the boxes. So this is just a screenshot of what you would see on the website with some of those options. All of our bulk deliveries are discounted. We are a subscription home delivery service, so the bulk deliveries are about 30% discounted from those home deliveries. And there is pickup available from our warehouse in Landover, Maryland. And then for deliveries, we can accommodate a delivery, again, anywhere in Maryland, Northern Virginia, DC. Our delivery fees range from $90 to $130 with free delivery for orders of over 250 boxes. So I think I covered everything. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has questions, and my contact information will be sent around along with some more information about the resources I shared.
Thanks so much, Will. Pat Drumming did have a question in the chat. If you could clarify what the 1-hour delivery time is if you need a 2-week notice.
Yes, a great question. So the 1-hour delivery window would just be, for example, 8 to 9 a.m., 2 to 3 p.m. And we do ask for 1 to 2 weeks. We try to be super flexible, but 7 days of lead time for us to plan for having that inventory in-house to assemble the boxes is what we're generally asking.
Great. Thank you, Will. And I will pass things over now to Karen and Angela from FreshFarm.
Hi, yes. I will also, I did a quick PowerPoint also. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. We usually use Google Chat, so. Okay, here we go, fantastic. Okay, so my name is Angela Farkas. I'm the programs manager for the pop-up food hub at FreshFarm. So what is FreshFarm? We're a Washington, D.C. based nonprofit. We're working on building equitable and sustainable resilient food systems in the Mid-Atlantic. We work primarily with local farms is really what FreshFarm itself is focused on. The pop-up food hub is a section outside of FreshFarm where our two key missions are, of course, to support and connect small and mid-sized local farms. They have to be within 200 miles in the Mid-Atlantic region that are already attending FreshFarm farmers markets to our community, especially neighbors who are struggling with food security by providing access to that local fresh produce at wholesale prices. So a question later on we'll answer, but we do not have markup on the prices set by the farmers. And we do work with the DC, Maryland, and Virginia nonprofit organizations that are interested in buying all of those local produce. So just a quick overview of why work with us. We have extensive experiences. We've been doing, FreshFarm itself has been open for 25 years. We started the DuPont Farmers Market and Pop-Up Food Hub has been here for about the past 9 years. This year, we have delivered over 30,000 pre-packed, we call them bags. I know this is for boxes, but it does come in a bag from us all over the DMV area. We are flexible. We do have organizations that order once a week to once a month, and sometimes even people who just do one-time orders. We don't have a minimum order. No order is too small. Very rarely do we get ones that are too large, but we are definitely here to work with you. If it is too big at any point, we do just have the farmer who we work with come and deliver directly to you. Like I said before, we don't have a markup or handling fee. Everything is the price from the farmers. It's the price what you would see. And that is what you would end up paying. We do just have $5 for delivery just to cover gas costs. You can customize your bags if you do have culture appropriate demands. You can let us know what items you're looking for to get in your bags. We do work with the 30 plus farmers that are within our network to tell them what it is that our customers are looking to purchase and what they want to see in their bags. We'll often say, hey, people aren't that much of a fan of kale, let's cut out the kale, or too many greens, or not everybody wants tons and tons of radishes. As delicious as they are, sometimes that's hard to cook with. So we always give them feedback on how people give us feedback. We do also offer wholesale. I know that this is for bags, but if you're just looking for general, lots of the organizations we work with in Virginia just get a large bulk produce and they're either able to bag it up themselves, or sometimes they have open pantries where their customers come and do that as well. Scheduling and delivery, we do deliveries from Monday to Saturday. We don't have any same day emergency deliveries unless we've done something wrong, or we would try to make up a delivery on that Saturday. But again, I think as other people had said here, we work with farmers, so trying to get something from them as we leverage them already coming into the city, we aren't really able to do same day or emergency deliveries. But the best way to get a better idea of how we can fit you in with our scheduling, what our delivery times are, is really to set up a meeting with me. I'll obviously get copied to you. We do have an interest form, and it would just send us an email, give an idea of who you are, where you are, so our team can get ready to see who is the best people to sit in a meeting with you so we can get you signed up. You can customize your bags from anywhere from a $7 per person bag to a $30 per person bag. So it's really however you want that to what you're able to do in that way. You can Again, this will also be sent out to you, but additional information on how the pop-up food hub works is Fresh Farm Pop-up Food Hub. And on here is also, again, scheduling a meeting with me to talk about what we can do to work together, is that interest form that I have linked. This will be at the end. This will be sent to you as well. It's just the seasonal availability. And what that says is, what do we normally have available? What is that we normally see from year to year? That doesn't mean that if you don't see something that you would like us to grow, that you can't contact us, because we definitely work with the farmers directly. And also the wholesale availability sheet just tells you what is currently actively what we're able to provide. As things come on and off seasonality, that gets taken or put on into that active Google sheet that you could see, and the prices are all listed there, and that is exactly what you would be paying, plus a $5 delivery fee. Unless you want to pick it up at a market, you can also avoid that if you did want to pick up everything at a market. I think that is all. No order minimums, flexibility, seasonal availability, yes, is there. I think that is everything. Yes, that's my email. Really simple, Angela@freshfarmmarkets.org. And I hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you so much, Angela. Okay, moving on now to Brandon at the People's Market DMV.
Can you all see my screen here?
Yes, we can.
Awesome, awesome. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brandon Starks. I'm the founder and CEO of the People's Market. We are a farm-to-door produce delivery service located right here in Montgomery County. We're right in Silver Spring. So we were recently founded back in 2021, kind of during the peak of the pandemic. We were just paying attention to some of the health disparities that we saw in communities in the DMV, and really wanted to make an impact for those communities to make sure that they get fresh local food delivered directly to their door. And we also understand the challenge that historically underrepresented small farms have. They don't have many places to deliver their produce to. Maybe there aren't markets in their area. A lot of the farmers that I work with don't have the capacity to go to a farmer's market and sell their food. So we are an outlet for them. So as I was saying, we recently started, and our mission is to ensure that we're delivering quality, convenience, and community through premium hand-picked organic food that's locally sourced. We support local small farmers as well as small businesses. We have add-on products from small local business, a lot of Black women-owned businesses in Prince George's County, Montgomery County, and Virginia. And also, we're making sure that we're reducing our carbon footprint by sourcing food that's literally right in our backyard. Our vision, and we have a really powerful vision, is to create a future where everyone has access to local food, no matter their zip code. We want to make sure that folks have long, fulfilling lives. And I think we all know on this call, we're all advocates for this, that really food is at the core of how we can solve a lot of our health problems and disparities. Quick story. So I started the People's Market because I come from a family rooted right here in Maryland. My great-grandmother grew up on a farm and then also was a sharecropper. And when she moved to a more urbanized area, really just realized that you can't get access to high quality, good food in some of these communities. So when we would sit at the table for Thanksgiving and Christmas while we're all pounding mac and cheese and collard greens with fat back and bones in them, she would always remind us, we're not eating, number one, we're not eating quality food. It's not from a local source or a source that we know. And that we have to be very conscious of how we eat. So really, this company, I started it sort of as just a form of acknowledgement and honor to her. I know that, she's no longer with us, but she lived to be 98, and she actually lived by eating local. She knew her farmer. She lived by making sure that she was very conscious of the food that she put on her plate. So we want to make sure that we extend this service to everyone here in the DMV. Here are some of the farmers that we source from. Like I said, we source hyper locally, like Dodo Farms, who you all might all be familiar with because they're local here in Montgomery County and now Howard County. I know that they recently procured some land, but Three Part Harmony Farm in DC, Ola Lake and Farm in Upper Marlboro, This is the soil farm in Upper Marlboro as well. I'm picking up some sweet potatoes from them this week. And then Owl's Nest Farm, we get a lot of our greens, our radish, different items from them. So we are hyper local. And I think I pressed on this already in the fact that there are health disparities within our communities. We want to make sure that we make it super easy and convenient for people to get access to this food. There was a Brookings Institute article that was published a couple years back, just focusing on the lack of premium grocery stores in specific neighborhoods, especially in Black communities, even where the median income was above some of their neighboring communities. They couldn't get a local, grocer who was an organic food store into their community. So again, we service those types of areas. We want to make sure that we make it easy and convenient for people to access food. So how it works, we try to keep things super simple. We are a lean team. Like I said, we started in 2021. We're kind of just getting started. So we offer two varieties of boxes. We offer a half or a full box subscription. The half box subscription is $40 and it's 6 to 8 items within the box, and it feeds a family of 2 for about a week or more. Sometimes, honestly, a lot of people have leftovers going into the next week. And our full box subscription is for a family of 4 to 5. Same thing, 6 to 8 items. We just kind of double over. You're going to get, sweet potatoes or potatoes, some type of fruit. This where we're at in the season right now is a lot of apples because we're, into the winter months, as well as a lot of greens. We'll do like 3 or 4 types of greens in there, or maybe a herb. So what we do each week is we curate a menu of local produce. Now, even though we're curating the menu and it's set similar to a CSA, if you have a consumer who has some dietary issue or something, we can always double up on an item. So if they don't want radish, maybe because I've never heard of anybody being allergic to radish, but maybe they just don't like radish, we can sub that out for apples or an extra bunch of kale or collard greens to meet their needs. We also, do have a lot of culturally appropriate items. Again, we work with a lot of small farmers, a lot of Black farmers in the area, and they grow all types of items. If you all let us know, we can definitely meet some of those needs. So we deliver every Sunday, but we're super flexible. Like if you all had a group that you wanted us to deliver to, or maybe you wanted us to pull up to your site with the prepackaged bags, we totally have the capacity to do that. If you all give us like a couple of days notice, we can make sure that we meet those needs. And honestly, we're looking for long-term partnerships. So we're really looking to like build with folks here in the community. Each week, we're going to include like a recipe card. It comes in the form of like a newsletter and an email. So you'll get to see like different recipes that you can use for that food that we put into the box, as well as information about the farms where the food is sourced from and any other relevant information that your consumers would need. Again, we like to make things super, super simple. We handle the sourcing, packaging, and logistics. We don't, sell large, boxes of items. Like we wouldn't sell you, 20 boxes of kale or anything. We like to pre-package that for you, make your life a little easier so that you can spend time with your consumers, get to know their needs, you know what I'm saying? Really be with them and be able to support them and let us handle the heavy lifting. And we do offer discounts on bulk items, and any long-term partnerships is something that we're looking to get into. So here's my information. I'll also put it in the chat. Again, I'm Brandon Starks. I'm the founder and CEO of the People's Market. We are a farm-to-door delivery service located right here in Montgomery County. Thanks, y'all.
Brandon, thank you so much. And yes, Dodo Farms, a longtime partner of the Food Council, and also a farmer who sells at the FRESHFARM market in downtown Silver Spring. So again, just great to see all of the connection points within our community. Thank you so much for your presentation, Brandon. I don't see any questions in the chat, so we'll keep moving on to our last presentation, and that is Jenny Freeman with Community FarmShare.
Thanks so much. It's good to be here. And it's just such a pleasure to hear, and I'm kind of glad I got to go last and hear everybody's amazing presentations and how we're all working together and having that common goal of getting the food to people. So Community FarmShare, we're also new, so similar, started around in the beginning of 2021. We have evolved over time. We started as just purchasing CSA shares and getting those to families through partners and organizations for families experiencing food insecurity. And since then, we have started to really evolve to kind of focus on a couple main programs like farm to school programs and food as medicine programs. And in there, so having come from that program support or program management perspective, what we really seek to do now is to seek partners and also long-term partners who have that kind of interest in supporting school families and supporting food as medicine programs, whether directly with clinics or in their own, community-based organizations, work and missions. And then the third piece that we started this year was also just directly providing wholesale degrees of produce to food assistance providers who are interested in that. So we don't have a top limit of the size order so far what we have, but we can provide several hundred pounds of different products as people are interested in having free choice markets are available as well. We do culturally appropriate produce, and our key thing I think here, just thinking about like how do we present what our farmers are super hyper local too. So we generally, our mission is to start with buying from Montgomery County farmers specifically first, and then as we just based on demand or based on volumes and needs at different time periods and seasons, we do expand outside of Montgomery County to source regionally. So big shout out to some of our partners. We bought from 4P in the spring and in the fall. From FRESHFARM has been fantastic the last month especially, and we're sourcing a lot of produce from them too, as well as Moon Valley has been great. So what I want to just emphasize is that there's this network already, kind of what Tom was saying, I think about the web of a network of local farms supporting each other in networks, and that's what's really happening. So it's just a big shout out to everybody. So, but we do start with the focus on Montgomery County farmers and really want to build up their capacity as much as we can. So we do that through aggregating from small farms. So we have a small aggregation space out actually at Common Root Farm, which is one of our farm partners out in Durwood. So kind of central Montgomery County. We buy any amounts from all of our farm partners just to make it work. So we do buy even really small amounts from farms. So sometimes it's like, 10, 20 pounds of something because it all adds up. And our mission really is to support, especially the new farms and small farms that don't have such easy access to markets. And then at the aggregation space, we have sort of three different ways that we can provide produce. So we do bags. We can provide bags, whether they are custom design bags. So we have a list of produce that we would have available every week, and then highlight that what is available, and then the organization can go in and just choose which items they would want to have in the bags. We do need like a 3-day notice on that to be able, like the previous organizations that worked with farms, it's exactly true. They've got to harvest it, they've got to bring it, deliver it, we put it together in the bags, etc. So the 1-day emergencies are pretty difficult for us to handle, especially when we're also sometimes regionally sourcing as well, which then you heard sort of those lag times as well. But we do custom bags. We also then do the bulk produce. So if there's organizations that have more of a free choice pantry model, and you want just specific things, again, you can put your order into the spreadsheet of availability, and then we can deliver that to your organization. And then one of the missions also too is to support some of the smaller food assistance providers that are looking to buy local produce, because maybe sometimes there might be challenges with cold storage or something. So we do have that central cold storage and able then to hang on to it so that when you order it, we can make sure that you're getting it at the time that you need it right before your distribution. So it's fresh. And then a third way that we also support food assistance providers and organizations is we this year and plan to expand next year is through our mobile market network. And so we have mobile markets strategically throughout the county where organizations could have it's like an e-voucher system in a sense, and you could enable any community members that you are serving to have access to those, and it's a free choice market, so they can come and do a produce just basically shopping up to a certain credit amount, all depending on what that funding looks like, or on an individual e-voucher method as well, but just giving people an option also of free choice farmers market basically. So those three methods, so either bags, some wholesale, or the markets are the three key ways that we would be able to provide produce for any organizations. We also do provide the storage tips and recipes also, as well as tips on healthy eating. We really, I think one of the emphasis too is on that partnership. So we do want to be, we'd like to be a partner in supporting, especially organizations that are, you know, like I said, getting into food as medicine programs or farm to school programs or any kind of a connection. So having been the program leads on many of those projects over the last couple of years, we now just want to be the supporters really to other organizations. So we've got that understanding of how the farms work and what kind of product they have and how that all works really from a farmer's perspective, those relationship with the farmers, and also those relationship with the schools and clinics and healthcare providers. And so we would love to support other organizations to be able to move in those directions about healthy eating as well. And get through my notes. Yeah, so I think that's about it. I'll just look through the questions really fast. Yeah, delivery pickup days. Typically we were like Wednesdays through Fridays, but we'll see next year's. We're very also similar to others, kind of a lean organization, lots of flexibility there. So typically the last half of the week is when we were doing distributions or deliveries. Delivery fees kind of haven't worked all that through all the way. Depends on the location, I guess, but so far we haven't charged anything. Emergency services, that's difficult. Like I said, the order minimums, no. Maximums, we haven't hit a maximum yet, but minimums, we also are fine with any amount. So even like, 20 pounds of something is totally fine. Yes, lots of flexibility in produce choices, again, starting in the local Montgomery County farmers, but then stretching out regionally. And so that broadens and opens up the same opportunities and options that you heard from the other sellers, because that's who we're buying from as well. And culturally appropriate produce, yes, absolutely. And same thing too. Many of our farmers, we actually just had our farmer meeting last week, and a lot of the farmers were just saying to us, they're doing their plannings right now, but what other additional things do they want to hear from organizations to plant for next year? So the same thing, they're very eager to support the community that we're serving, or that you're serving. And price structures typically per pound, but can be per case. It could be per eaches sometimes as well. Discount for bulk orders. We have not done discounts yet on bulk orders, just because I think we haven't gotten to that size yet. Just to give you a perspective, I mean, we are much smaller than the 4Ps of the world out there that has that. So we haven't gotten to the bulk discount yet. So, and I will put my contact information in the chat, and there's a presentation that they can send out after the call as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. I do see a question in the chat, but I think it applies to multiple vendors. But again, please feel free to keep your questions coming. We have plenty of time for discussion now, if folks have particular questions. But the one that's in the chat is, do any of the providers work on a corporate level, like providing produce boxes to employees or employers as a health benefit and or well-being or wellness perk, similar to food as medicine, but on a different tier? And I did see that FreshFarm responded that they do offer that service.
Yeah, we do as well. Again, we deliver directly. So, also depends on, where folks live and if they're in our service delivery area, but we do most of the DMV. So yes, we do.
Right. And it looks like Moon Valley Farm also provides that service.
And we haven't yet, but we could.
Any other questions from food assistance providers? I know we, provided a lot of information here. It's a lot to think through. And in a moment, if we don't have any other questions, we'll move into our resource presentation about how Beta has helped kind of pull this all together for you to be able to more easily review and kind of identify specific areas of interest based on your needs and purchasing preferences. So I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat, so I think that we will, oh, sorry. Does anyone deliver or provide eggs? And again, feel free to respond out loud or in the chat. Okay, People's Market, Moon Valley Farm. Okay, again, feel free to go. Okay. Langdon, I think a lot of the vendors did share some in their presentations of what they have available. Maybe we'll switch gears now and go into our resource presentation. And again, you'll see that a lot of that information is shared there. We'll also, again, be following up with all of the slides that folks have shared. And I know Bita has been taking notes throughout, so any specific mentions, you'll also get that, and she'll update the spreadsheet that we're going to show you in a moment to capture that information. So I'm going to turn things over to Bita. For those of you who haven't yet had a chance to meet her, she is our AmeriCorps Vista who's with us this year. And I just wanted to do a big shout out for all the work that she has done on making this call happen today and reaching out to vendors and collecting information. And also putting together the great resource that she is going to share with you now. So Bita.
Hi, thank you, Anne Marie, and a huge thank you to all of the vendors that were able to make it to this call today and share their amazing resources and all of the great work that they're doing. So we're going to get into the resource that the Food Council has created. Essentially, it's a spreadsheet with all of the contact information that you would need, along with the names of the people who you would contact. So we have some of the vendors that are here today. So we have their email address, phone number, if you would like to contact them that way. And we have a bunch of different categories that these different vendors may fall into. So we heard a lot about different local produce that was available. So that's an option that we have here. Organizations that work with historically underrepresented farmers, recovered food. We heard that Hungry Harvest does recovered food. Full year service. So all of the organizations that are highlighted in yellow do full year service just as a way to emphasize that for people that have more urgent needs that are coming in the winter months. And here at the bottom, we have more seasonal options if you're interested in that in the future. And we have options for customization here if they offer that type of service, and if they have cultural produce options and delivery. And we have some pricing here, which varies by, the organization that's providing it. And some of them did mention that they do discounts for bulk orders. So it would be best to contact them directly to see what kind of offer they're able to give you. And we also have the website for each of the organizations here, where they have a more complete list of all of the different produce options that they have. So if you're looking for a specific type of produce, I'm sure it'll be available on their websites here. And we just have some notes that we were taking throughout the presentation. So we have some options for produce here as well. Types of boxes that they offer to different vendor or producers. And we have minimums, maximums, delivery fees, all of those little details that would be important for you to know. So this is the resource that we have for you guys. Hopefully it's helpful. I know that sourcing new produce options can be difficult with coordination. So we really appreciate everyone attending this call today, and we'll be sure to send this resource out, and yeah, hopefully it's of use to you guys. So thank you.
Thanks, Bita. I should mention, I believe there's, a handful of vendors that we are still hearing back from, or that are still in the process of getting us information. So we will update this spreadsheet as that information becomes available. You will always have the same link. It will always be the same link, so it'll be easy for you to find. And anything we update, that'll really be seamless to those of you following that shared link. So I'm gonna take a moment now just to share a poll. But again, please, any questions that you may have, feel free to keep putting those in the chat. Actually, Bita, did you want to run the poll? Are you able to do that?
I've never ran a poll
Oh,
before.
hold on. No, well, then we won't try that out today. We'll try that another day. Okay, there we go. So yeah, if you all wouldn't mind taking a moment and let us know, how useful these resources, joining us today was for you. We're always happy to get feedback, so we can really help better shape our future programming and resources. Again, like I mentioned, we plan on hosting another one of these calls, vendor showcases in the spring, when we have some more local farmers operating on a more traditional growing season that have more to offer, that also offer box produce, but just aren't currently doing so in the winter. So again, just wanted to be responsive to that immediate need right now, but happy to come back in the spring when there are greater options for you to consider. See some answers still rolling in, so I'll give it another moment. But this is a perfect time. We still have a little over 20 minutes left on the call that I'm happy to stay on for. If there's any organizations that have any announcements that you would like to share, or again, happy for any further questions about these or other resources. Okay, thank you, Paula, for your update. For those of you, again, this was partially in response to the community food assistance grants that had gone out. We know that many food assistance providers that participated in that program in the past were buying box produce through credits with the Capital Area Food Bank. That resource was no longer going to be available. So this was kind of a response to an immediate need. But we are happy, to hear about, resources that you would like to learn more about or be connected about in the future. So appreciate that feedback, Paula.
And Marie, I just wanted to point out there's also a question from Deanna in the chat about
Yes.
whether this will be on the website.
Haven't figured that out just yet. I'm sure we'll find a way to make that available. But it will, like I said, it will definitely be available through this community. And we will always, we will share a link. I think we just have to find the best way to have that available, but also up to date, and kind of in keeping with some of, if there's any information that may be proprietary pricing or something for food assistance providers, just want to be mindful in terms of how publicly we put it out there, as opposed to simply for the use of our community. But yes, Pat, you're right. I believe the Share Food Network is not limited to just produce. And 4P, had other food items that they were mentioning. And I apologize if anyone didn't. I'm just not remembering off the top of my head at the moment, but yes. All right, I'm gonna end our poll. Thank you all for sharing your feedback. Again, happy to make some time and space if anyone has any announcements that they would like to share. Again, for those of you who may have missed the start of the call, Jack had shared an update on a sign-on letter for the county executive about supporting resources for the food security space. If you are on our food assistance provider distribution list, you received an email about that. But Jack, if you wouldn't mind just sharing the form again in the chat for those who joined a little later on the call. Thank you.
Just dropped it in there.
Great. All right. Like I said, happy to stay in chat with those of you that have something to share, and also happy to give you 19 minutes back in your day. But thank you so much to all of our vendors who joined us today. Moon Valley Farm, you know what, if I start naming farms, I'm probably going to screw everything up. So I'm just going to say Emma and Rob, Tom, Yannette and Scott, Will McCabe, Karen and Angela, Brandon Starks and Jenny Freeman, thank you so much for your time, for putting together resources today. We know for some of you, some of you had standing things already ready to go. Some of you, this was maybe a new opportunity that you were creating some resources around. So we appreciate the time and energy that you put into joining us for today's call. But I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season. I know providers were very busy the past couple of weeks. I know you will continue to be so through the end of the year. I hope everyone has some time for rest and recharging after all of that work, and look forward to seeing many of you in January.